Good day, everyone. How are you doing? It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Caz Pollock. Now, Caz Pollock has actually been a very special person in my recruiting career. She is the lady who literally gave me the opportunity to get into the recruitment industry in the early days of PAG. So, Caz, absolute pleasure to have you here and to give you your 15 minutes of fame. So, to start with, what does everyone need to know about you in a minute?
Sure. Okay. Thank you for inviting me. This is wonderful. I think, first of all, first and foremost, I'm a wife, been married for 38 years. I have three children, 37. Been married to my husband for 38 years, but my greatest achievement is I'm known as Granny Caz. So I'm very family orientated. My family always come first. Professionally, I've been in the South African recruitment business for 40 years, 24 of which were in corporate. I worked at an executive level for the two largest groups at my time in the good old days was the Kelly Group and the ACORP Group. And the last 16 years were spent running my own business, Pollock Associates, an executive search and specialist recruitment company. In my spare time, you'll find me involved in some craft project, whether it's crocheting, mosaicing. I read a lot of business books and articles, love podcasts. But if you come into my house, I'm an old soul and I love old music. So I'll be blasting out great tunes like Frank Sinatra, Roy Orbison, Louis Armstrong, Dusty Springfield. That really...
That's excellent. Good music.
So I don't think a lot of people know that about me.
I learned something new.
Yeah, and my ultimate really is road tripping. We started about 3-4 years ago, traveling this beautiful country and neighboring countries, and there's nothing better than traversing all those dusty back roads through mountain passes, really indulging yourself in the culture, the land, the landscapes. That's really what excites me.
And I love living vicariously through you when you go on these travels and follow your escapades on Facebook, and you're actually a wonderful travel journalist. I think that's something that you could add to your repertoire there. But Caz, that's awesome. You know, good to know you a little bit better. And as I say, I mean, you were very instrumental in getting me into the industry, and I do thank you for that. But 40 years in the recruitment industry is a flipping long time. I mean, most people give up before then. You know, I always ask the question of how did you fall into recruitment? Because no one ever, you know, studies to be a recruiter. But what happened 40 years ago that you ended up doing this?
Well, I got a job as a CV typist at Kelly.
Okay.
And I was typing on a golf ball electric typewriter.
No, my mom had one of those.
One-pager CVs. I was based in the engineering division. I was there about a week or two. They sent my manager on a training course for a week and just left me. So I was taking orders on the phone. Candidates who, in those days, candidates just walked in. You had walk-ins, you know, that wanted to be interviewed. So I interviewed them, took jobs, set up interviews. And in the week my manager was away, I placed 2 people.
That's brilliant.
Like, wonderful. So I think it was destiny that I was meant to be in the recruitment business. From there, I was promoted. And to be honest, I have worked every single desk in the business.
Which I think is why you've got such a good understanding. I mean, I know that we're recording this for your 15 minutes of fame, but whenever I need to get someone else's thought on something, I get hold of Caz because your experience is just unbelievable. So from typist to pretty much an MD of one of the Kelly Group businesses. How long was that journey?
I was there for, what was it? 24 years. 24 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
I think because I moved so much, I was marketing manager for Kelly at one stage and was part of the rebranding.
Okay.
Or I don't know if you remember the little green Kelly bug when the new Volkswagen bug came out and we rebranded.
Yes.
So I pretty much worked all around, but operations has always been my passion. I love
Okay.
being in the business and working with the business. For me, that's what really turns me on.
Excellent.
So,
Fantastic.
and then I
So,
decided,
yeah, no, I was going to say, so that was your corporate stint, 24 years. I mean, that's where our paths crossed. Then you left, and then you decided you're going to open up your own business. I mean, when you've got such a great lens of what it's like to have worked in all those different roles in an agency, tell us about your business. How long has Pollock and Associates been around for?
okay, so we're in our 16th year.
Wow.
Yes, started from sharing my husband's little office. I don't want to, but I'll never forget my first placement in my business. I've still got the invoice number one. And I
Excellent.
say to the accountant at SA Breweries, it was such a highlight for me. I've always wanted to get that invoice framed, and I think I will one day because
I
that's
think you
where it
should.
started. And the business has grown. I've had wonderful people coming in and out of the business, but I'll always say it's the people within your business that make your business, and that's what's made the difference for me.
Yeah.
They live and breathe the values of my company. They treat it as their own. So yeah, it's grown. Initially, what you do when you start your business, you just take anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you fill anything that you can. It's permanent. The focus really is on permanent and executive search and specialist. So
Mm.
here, concentrating a lot. My business has evolved, and this is where I've still got my business plan that I wrote when I started the business, where I wanted to only work at a mid and executive level, which is where my
Okay.
business is operating now at the moment. So
Fantastic.
anything from your sales managers, your financial managers, to your CFO, CEOs, COOs, etc., general managers. This is where my business has actually grown.
Awesome.
However, I don't have a hit and miss kind of spray kind of attitude. I have a niche client base. So if the client comes to me and says, you know what, I need a credit controller, we'll search it and we'll fill it for you. So we try and really encapsulate the whole client in terms of our service delivery. But the
And I
piece of
think
my
that
business,
that's the key these days is that, you can't turn away a credit controller just because it's not what you do, but, you've got a good relationship with the client. I mean, recruitment's recruitment. You can find a credit controller very easily.
uh,
So how big is the team at Pollock and Associates? How many people have you got now?
we ate, excluding
Okay,
myself.
nice size. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mark, my son, runs my back office. So we've got a very big team in KZN, one in Cape Town, and then 3 up here in Johannesburg. And
Nice.
I know you
And I
always
love
talk
your
about,
team. What I like about your team, having trained them several times and worked with them, is that they're consistent. And I love that. Is that, they obviously love working for you and they stay for the long haul.
absolutely. There's one thing I
Yeah.
learned as a leader. I could never, all I ever wanted to be was a mother and a stay-at-home mom. Well, that was not my destiny. So it was very important for me in my business that the people I employed, and I've had males and females, that they're there for their children. So that has got a lot to do with the culture of my business. If your kid's
Okay.
going to assembly or swimming in a gala, you just tell me that I know where you are in case I need you, but they have freedom. I'm not a clock watcher. We work a
Yeah.
4.5 day week.
Oh,
Um,
really? That's fantastic. So can they pick when they want to have their half day off?
No, it's normally a Friday. They can go off on a
Okay.
Friday. And
Brilliant.
normally, like last week with the holiday, I said, "Oh no, shut up at 12, shut off,
Mm.
do your thing." And the
Yeah.
one key is I do not have a retirement age. So, and I have a very
That's
mature
fantastic.
team with a younger
Yeah.
team through now that we're busy
Yeah.
developing. So no, I couldn't do this business without each and every single individual.
And what's nice is that your team's also remote. I mean, I think that if anyone's looking for a really cool company to work for, where the boss is very compassionate, Caz, I don't know if you're looking to grow your team at the moment, but put Pollock and Associates on your radar. So, Caz, the reason why we're chatting is that before I actually launched the Talent Hunters community, you were one of the people that I chatted with about how I believe community is the future and community is our new talent pipeline and our talent pools. And you came and joined our community as a beta tester. Thank you for that. And kind of just ran with it. And I can see that you're very active. You're giving advice to people. I mean, you've got 40 years experience. I mean, that's incredible, which is just great. So how can the community assist you to be more successful in what you're doing at the moment?
You know, for me, I'm always hungry for knowledge, and you'll know that. I don't know everything. And when you look 40 years back of where we started, and we had like little tickler boxes with the candidates, little cards and client cards, to where it is now, where it is totally digital, etc. So
Yeah.
I'm on a steep learning curve. So any bit of knowledge that I can grasp or learn or share with my team, I'm hungry for that. And I encourage people to actually share that, because not everybody feels they want a voice on a public platform.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that people aren't engrossing themselves in the knowledge that is being shared. And
Yeah.
you know what? It can be an article, it could be a podcast, it could be a book, it could be anything. And
Absolutely.
you know, when I'm training my staff, I always say to them, doesn't matter, attend the training session. If you walk away with one thing and implement it, you've learned something new. And I think that's
Exactly.
what I'm hoping to get, and I hope everybody else gets out of this platform, and I think they will, because you've got people that are dedicated and professional recruiters that are also hungry to grow. So
And I think that for too long, the industry's been a little bit like me. And I look at the potential on a global stage that we have now, because I mean, the war for talent is global. Let's face it, that we can learn from people in different countries. We shouldn't see people who work in the industry as, you know, the enemy or, you know, competition. Someone asked me the other day, is this community for internal TA staff and for agency recruiters? And I was like, of course, you know, why wouldn't it be? So I think the more that we can share and learn from each other, the better the industry gets. I mean, maybe one day we'll stop being lumped in with the second-hand car salesman and the estate agents. I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
professionalize the whole industry.
absolutely. And I have to compliment you. Employing you was the best decision I ever made. And it's so awesome to see how you've grown the talent sourcing community in South Africa, which was very, you know, in the old days, you didn't even talk to your competitor. If you went to a function, you would just stay away from them. Whereas now, it's all about sharing and growing and
giving back.
And giving back to the community, and you have been instrumental in that. And I'm not trying to suck up or whatever. I don't have to you.
But you don't, Caz, but thank you.
But the difference you have made, even for me, I mean, before COVID, I didn't even know what a Boolean string was. Okay.
Wow.
And look how I have grown, etc. You know, I mean, I've got my team. I'm saying, just check my string. I don't know if it's right. Could you add? What's a takeaway? Whatever.
Excellent.
I think I knew nothing. But the one thing
which is great. And I mean, look, you're running a successful business, and I think a lot of it's down to you always wanting to educate yourself, you wanting to do better. I mean, I see you sitting on all of the HRTX and free events coming out of the US, and you're staying ahead of the curve. So, Caz, one last thing that I want from you. 40 years in this industry is absolutely amazing. Give me, what would you say are the top 3 characteristics or values that somebody needs in order to have longevity as a recruiter? Just the top 3. What springs to mind?
Okay, number 1, you need a serious sense of humor. And I say that just very quickly, because if you didn't make me laugh in an interview, I would never employ you. Because that was my key. If you could see the funny side of situations, was key. So a sense of humor, high level of resilience.
Yeah. So that's number 2, resilience. So 1, sense of humor, 2, resilience. Okay.
2, resilience. 3, can I say steadiness? So it's just that consistency in terms of not plodding along, but just keep going.
Keep your head down.
Yeah, and somebody who is very, I'm not going to use the people card because that's just somebody who is goal orientated, who knows what they want out of life and where they're going. Because if I understand what your motivators are, I can help you get to where you want to be.
100%. Absolutely. And that's brilliant. I think that is awesome. And a lot of people think that, what will make a recruiter really successful, it's having all of these tools and all of these expensive licenses. It's actually a lot of what comes from within. It's about the person. And I'm so glad you threw out the people card, because the number of people who tell me, that I train and, I love people, that's why I'm a recruiter. And like 3 months down the line, they're going to be like, I hate people. People are such assholes. No one responds to my messages. So that's really good. So Caz, I'm just going to thank you for your time. It's been an absolutely awesome conversation. And I look forward to seeing you in the spotlight on our 15 minutes of fame.
Oh, thank you. I really do appreciate it. It's been fun.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, ciao, ciao.